So hello friends, welcome to the Anatomy Hub. Yesterday we have studied about the visual pathway. So we have traced the axons from the retina and how they are going towards the optic tract by the crossing fibers. So we have to study today the lesions that may happen or occur at the visual pathway. So before that you should know that here is your eyeball and the retina that we will draw here. So here you will find one retina and here you will find the another one. Okay. So now what will have the at the center you will find there is the presence of your fovea centralis. So at this point also will find the fovea centralis, and if it is your nasal region, then we will have the here we will have your nose. Okay. Now at this point during the nasal side we will find the area for your optic disc. Okay, so here you will find there is the presence of optic disc. Okay, so through which all the axons of the ganglionic cells, they will go through this optic disc and will form your optic nerve. Now we will see that, so we have to divide this two eyeball into two halves in a central axis. So this central axis that will pass through the fovea centralis, right? So here it will pass through this central fovealis in this way, and here also it will pass through this central fovealis. So this is known as your meridional axis. So the meridional axis that divides these two half of the orbit as two hemispheres. So here you will find this area is your nasal hemisphere, and this area is your temporal hemisphere. Now in this also you will find the this side is the nasal hemisphere and this side will be your temporal hemisphere. Like that, what you will find here, at this point you will find there is the presence of your central fovea centralis, and or you can say the macula lutea. So just side to that the area you will find over here. So this area is your paramacular area. So the macular area at the center, and at just periphery to that you will find the paramacular area. Okay, and the outer side, all this side that you will find over here. So all these sides they are the monoocular area. So the macular area, and this is your paramacular area, and this is your monoocular area. So we can also divide in another way this pathway, as you know that the periphery part is your monoocular area. At the center you will find the macular area, and in between these two you will find this area. This area is your peri or paraocular area, right? Now also we can divide this the orbit into 4 quadrants by a line over here. If you will draw a line in this way, then we can also divide the orbit, or you can say the eyeball, into 4 quadrants. So you can say that this is your upper quadrant and this is your lower quadrant. So here also you will find the upper quadrant and the lower quadrant. So what you will find here, this side, if you will say it is the left side eyeball and this is your right side eyeball, then this side will be your right upper temporal quadrant and this will be your right upper nasal quadrant. Like that, here you will find the right, but it is lower quadrant. So you will find the right lower temporal quadrant, and this side will be your right lower nasal quadrant. Same side, in your left eyeball, what will find the left upper nasal quadrant, and this is your left lower nasal quadrant. At this point you will find the left upper, it is your temporal quadrant, and this will be your left lower temporal quadrant. So in this way also you can divide the orbit either into two halves as a nasal hemisphere and the temporal hemisphere, or you can say you can divide by another line drawing through the fovea centralis as the upper quadrant and the lower quadrant, or in the form of more specific, you can go as a left upper nasal quadrant and the upper temporal quadrant, lower temporal quadrant and lower nasal quadrant, right and left. So after this, why we are tracing this thing? Because at the most posteriorly, when you will go towards the occipital lobe, so at this occipital lobe you will find the calcarine sulcus over here, and here you will find this is your occipital lobe, and here you will find the calcarine sulcus. So this area, the most posterior area here, this area, that is actually meant for the macular lesion. So if any injury will be here at the most posterior area of the occipital lobe, then the effect will be over the macular region. Then if we will go just anterior to that, if this area, right, and so this area will affect your paramacular region, and if you will go more anterior, then you will find if you will find a region over here, then it will affect to your monoocular area. That's why it is very much important to remember the macular, the paramacular area, the nasal hemisphere, the temporal hemisphere and its quadrants. So now we will see the visual field, how it is just coming towards the retina, that we will see. So for that reason we will draw another diagram. So here you will find the eyeball, both the side. So consider that this is the right side and this is your left side, right? So what we'll find over here, that from the posterior nasal area, right, your optic nerve they uh, starts, right. So here you'll find the optic nerve, and here you will see. So this optic nerve they just make a chiasma over here, then the optic tract will start. Okay, so this optic tract they will go back side. Okay, and they will reach here at the lateral geniculate body. Okay, so here it is the continuation of this tract. So here it forms the optic chiasma over here, and at this point, as you know, that here you will find the superior colliculus and the midbrain part over here, right. So this is your midbrain. Okay, so at the center here you will find there is the presence of your cerebral aqueduct, and here you will find there is the presence of your superior collicular nucleus, and here you will find there is the presence of your pretectal nucleus, and here you will find your Edinger Westphal nucleus. Okay, now at this point, you know, the actually it is not anatomical diagram, so only to make you understand I have drawn this diagram. So you know there is the presence of the thalamus over here. Okay, so here is your thalamus. So the at the lateral side of the thalamus, here you will find the presence of the geniculate body over here, right. So this is your lateral geniculate body, you will find both the side. Okay, then just medial to that you will find the medial geniculate body. So the medial geniculate body that is not concerned with this visual pathway, so this is concerned with the auditory pathway. So the neurons through the optic tract they will come here, and they will just relay over here at the lateral geniculate body, right. Okay, then from the lateral geniculate body these fibers will go towards the occipital lobe. So before that we have to know some important points about the visual field. So as you know that here you just consider there is presence of the visual field over here. So both the side you will find the visual field. So this is your right visual field, and this is your right visual field, and this is your left visual field. Okay, so what will happen, just you know that we will divide this into two halves as a. So what will find here, here is your suppose there is the nose over here, right. So this is your nose schematic diagram. Okay, so nose. So you just divide it into two halves, two hemisphere. Okay, that means you will find the nasal hemisphere. So this is your nasal hemisphere, and here you also will find the nasal hemisphere, and this is your temporal hemisphere. Okay, so here also you will find the temporal hemisphere. Then what will happen, the visual field that which comes through the, here you can see you can divide into two halves. This visual field, left visual field can be divided into two halves as a nasal visual field and the temporal visual field. So like that, at the same you can draw over here also. Okay, so what will happen over here, that the object of the visual field from the nasal region, okay, they will just will go towards the temporal region. Okay, and from the temporal field, okay, the uh, this will go towards the nasal area. Okay, so this is the temporal visual field going towards the nasal optic fibers, and the nasal visual field, they will go towards the temporal fiber of the retina. Now what will happen, the nerve fibers from the temporal, they will just come to through the optic nerve, and they will pass ipsilaterally without crossing over there towards the optic tract, and they will reach over here at the lateral geniculate body. Like that, if you will consider the nasal optic fibers, so this nasal fibers, they will go towards the optic nerve, okay, towards the optic nerve, then they will just cross to each other, and they will go towards the opposite side, contralateral side of the your optic tract, and they will relay over the geniculate body. Okay, clear? So on the way to the geniculate body, okay, some of the fibers, they will not travel towards the geniculate body, they will just go towards the your superior colliculus, okay, through the superior branchium. Okay, so these nerve fibers, they will relay either at the superior colliculus, and from there they will go towards the pretectal uh, nucleus, and from the pretectal nucleus they will go opposite side to the Edinger Westphal nucleus, and from there they will go to forward, okay, towards the ciliary muscles and the constrictor pupillae muscles. Okay, now here you just you have to think that there are some uncrossed fibers and there are some crossed fibers. So here what we have seen, that most of the nasal fibers, okay, from the temporal visual field, they are coming towards the nasal fibers, and from there through the nasal uh, mm, optic fibers, they go towards the optic nerve, and inside the optic nerve they divides they decussate with each other, and going towards the opposite side of the optic tract, and they relay over here at the geniculate body. Now consider this geniculate body, that you know that this geniculate body, if you will draw here at this point, what will find that this geniculate body that can be divided into. So for the better diagram, just you consider here your geniculate body. Okay, so this is your geniculate body, lateral geniculate body. So this lateral geniculate body can be divided into 6 divisions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so what will happen, so suppose this is your 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, this is your 6 region. Then the ipsilateral pathway, that means what, the temporal pathway, the ipsilateral pathway, they will relay here that the temporal pathway in green. So they will relay to the 2, they will relay to the 3, and they will relay to the 6 area of your geniculate body. Okay, clear? But the nasal, that crossed pathway, okay, the contralateral pathway, they will relay over the 1, over the 4, and the 5. Okay, so these fibers, they will relay over here, and after that the upper fibers of your geniculate body, they will travel towards the occipital lobe by, so here you will find the occipital lobe. Okay, so this is your occipital lobe, and here you will find the calcarine sulcus. Okay, so this calcarine sulcus, that means what you find over here, this is your upper bank, and this is your lower bank. That means above to the calcarine sulcus, this is your upper bank, and lower to the calcarine sulcus, this will be your lower bank. So the upper fibers, they will travel towards the directly towards the upper bank of your calcarine sulcus, but the lower fibers, they will first go towards the temporal lobe, then as a Mayer's loop, they will form a Mayer's loop, then they will proceed forward, and they will relay over the visual cortex of your lower bank. In this way, they will relay to this visual cortex area that is present at the occipital lobe, and this pathway is your geniculocalcarine pathway. Okay, this is your geniculocalcarine pathway in form of your optic radiations. Okay, now we'll see if a lesion, now we'll consider the lesions, how they are affecting. So if you'll consider a lesion at the particular side of the temporal region, at this point, if you'll find a lesion over here, so this will affect, if you will find a lesion over here at the temporal part of your retina, then you just consider where will be the problem, right? So you just consider that this is the lesion number 1. Okay, this is your lesion number 1. So if the lesion number 1 will be here at the temporal part of the optic nerve, then what will happen? Now see, we will draw here the two fields over here. So we will draw here the two fields, there is one over here and another over here. So two visual fields. Okay, so what will happen if the lesion will be over here? Then you can see that this will lead towards the nasal area, means your right nasal area. There will be a blind spot. Okay, so the blind spot, that will be found over here at the right nasal area. Okay, so this is your what? So if we'll consider a lesion that is over here, okay, so you just consider if here is your lesion, okay, due to any cause, Okay, then mainly due to the demyelination of the nerves, or what will happen to the visual field. Now for this reason again we will draw the two things over here. Okay, so this is the visual fields. Okay, now you consider the nozzle. Okay, now what will happen, it will affect to the same side, right nasal area and the right temporal area. Okay, so right nasal area and right temporal area, that visual area that will be lost. Okay, then if we will consider another, so the complete side, that is one side, that right side ipsilateral, that pathways will be blocked, so the complete blindness of one side will be occurred. Okay, so this complete blindness of right eye, uh, that will lead. Then if you will find, here is the presence of your artery. Okay, this artery is your internal carotid artery. Okay, so if any aneurysm will be there, or uh, any occlusion will be there due to this internal carotid artery, then there will be a lesion at the lateral side of your tract. Then what will happen? So if this thing will be there, then what will happen? See, this is the area number 2. Okay, in area number 3 what will find, that here we'll find the left side and here we'll find the right side. Okay, then you'll just divide into the nasal and temporal. Okay, now you just imagine, if the area that will be uh, at the lateral side, then the nasal part means the opposite side of the, that means it is the temporal side. So what will happen, the opposite side, the nasal part, that part will be blocked. Okay, so this area will be damaged and other half will be okay. It will not have any problem. Then if you will find a lesion due to the tumor growth over from the pituitary gland. So there is the presence of the pituitary gland. Okay, from the pituitary gland, if a lesion will develop, okay, a tumor will develop, then the lesion will be over here. Okay, so this lesion, that will cause the lesion to the nasal line. So what will find, the lesion will form over here, that there is the two visual field over here, and here is also your field. So you just divide into the temporal and nasal, left and right temporal, nasal. Now you just imagine, if this fiber will be damaged, then the temporal part of the left side and the temporal part of the right side, that will be damaged. Okay, this thing will occur. So this is actually the bitemporal hemianopia. Hemi means half, anopia means blindness. Okay, so this area number 4, you can consider this is the fourth lesion. So and this is your fourth lesion. If the fourth lesion will be there, then it will be bitemporal hemianopia. Okay, then if you will find a lesion over the tract, okay, at the optic tract. If you'll find a lesion over here, okay, so what will find over here, it will what are the damages will occur, that we have to see. So see, this is the left vision, and this is the right visual side, okay. So the temporal and nasal, and temporal and nasal. Now you just consider that if this thing will occur, then what will happen. So this temporal and you can say the contralateral and the ipsilateral pathways. So you just consider, if the lesion will be here, that will lead to the opposite side nasal. So lost will be left temporal, okay. So the lesion will be over here at the left temporal, and it is going to the ipsilateral side towards the temporal. So it will become your nasal, okay. So the right nasal, okay. So this thing will be your right nasal blindness. So this is actually your this lesion, or this problem is known as your left, or you can say the right homonymous hemianopia, okay. Homo means same side, okay. Homonymous hemianopia, okay. So if you'll find a lesion over the at the geniculocalcarine area, okay, at this region, okay. If you will find a lesion over here, okay, then what will happen, see. So this is your fourth, and this is your fifth area lesion, and this is your sixth lesion, okay. If the sixth lesion, if here you will find the lesion, then what the problems will occur. Now you just consider that this is going towards the, see, the yellow one, it is going towards the opposite side. So the temporal, left temporal will be affected. So consider over here that here is the left visual side, and this is the right visual, and again just divide into temporal and nasal, and temporal and nasal, okay. Now what will happen, if this lesion will be over here, it will lead towards the nasal optic area, nasal fibers, that will lost the temporal, okay. So left temporal uh, visual side will be lost. Along with that, the ipsilateral, okay, means the lesion will be over here, then the green, that is going towards the temporal region. So this temporal lesion will lead to the right nasal, okay. So here we will find again the right nasal, okay. So the lesion will be over here. So this is also known as your homonymous hemianopia, okay. So here we have completed some of the lesions of your optic nerve. So thanks for watching.